Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the second Q&A webinar of Code for Earth, the innovation program of ECMWF. I'm here with a couple of colleagues, Ruben, Esperanza, Mark, Sarah, Elisa, and Luigi. And we will spend the next 45 minutes to 50 minutes to explain you some details about Code for Earth and why it makes sense to submit a proposal to one of the 19 challenges, and also provide tips and recommendations how to submit a good proposal. And before we go into more detail, I would like to hand over the screen to Ruben.
Yes,
because we have a couple of questions for you.
Thank you, Athena. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us in this webinar. We prepared some questions on Mentimeter. So you can find the link to the page either in the chat. I've just sent it to you, or you can use the QR code that you can see. Or you can go to menti.com and use this code 48662627. And you can enter, and we have 2 questions for you. So we will start by asking you, how did you hear about Code for Earth?
So Ruben, are you sharing your screen? Taking over
I can share my screen, yes, of course.
So we are interested to get an understanding, how you heard about Code for Earth, so that helps us also
Okay, we're getting
better understand, what we need maybe to do different. Okay.
Happy to see LinkedIn is one of the main answers. This means that communication works online. We're also happy to see friends and colleagues because networking is very important for us. So if we have people suggesting to friends and colleagues to join Code for Earth, we are very happy about that. Someone also see Athena in the answers.
Yes. No, I try to promote as much as I can.
Advisor, university professor. So
yeah.
So quite a few of you probably comes from the academic world, from universities.
Okay.
Okay, so you can go to the next question, and we would like to know, what is your country of residence? Okay, we start having the first. So Germany, Italy, India, France, Belgium, UK, Netherlands, Poland.
It's nice to see, because last week we had a similar webinar. We did not have Poland or France in the list, if I'm not mistaken.
Taiwan, so France, Cyprus, USA as well. So quite a few countries, and Kenya as well.
Good.
Okay, so thank you very much for your answer. Now we will start the webinar with all the information. Athena, the coordinator of Code for Earth, will explain all the insights of Code for Earth, and then we will have the two participants from the previous edition will also tell you their experience with Code for Earth. Their mentor is also here with us, Mark. And then we'll have some Q&A session where we answer your questions. Thank you very much.
Just one quick thing before we go on with the webinar. Just please, if you have questions and you want to shoot them in the chat because you don't want to forget about them, make sure that you use the Q&A section on Zoom. There is a button down there and you can just use that. And that would be lovely. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Sarah. Good. Okay, what is Code for Earth? I think many of you have read on the website, have also read about the program before. It's a key innovation action run by ECMWF and is supported by various organizations or institutions like Copernicus, Destination Earth, the European Environment Agency, Helmholtz-Zentrum Herion, and IFAB in Italy. And we want to make visible what we are doing and also raise the awareness of activities at the center and partner organization. We engage external talents with the mentors and the experts. So the one main aspect of Code for Earth is also to work together. It's about collaboration, cooperation, and working on real world challenges, which we call also projects, and make an impact in earth sciences, computer science, applied data science, and open source software development. The program grants selected teams that successfully complete the projects a 5,000 euro stipend. Who can submit a proposal and who can participate? So in general, the program is open to individuals, developer teams, or teams of people from diverse backgrounds. That could be earth sciences, computer sciences, software development. Whenever you think a challenge fits your profile, you can participate. And we welcome students at all levels, especially PhD and master students, but also if you're young, if you're professional and you're interested to work with mentors from our partner organizations or from ECMWF, you can also submit a proposal. An important aspect, and I really want you to also check the terms and conditions. If you are a citizen or a resident of a country that is not listed below, and we will put the lists of member states also in the chat, unfortunately, you're not eligible to submit a proposal. We want to make this very clear. So if you are a resident or a citizen of a ECMWF member state or cooperating state, or you can participate, or if you are a member, a citizen or a citizen or resident of a European Union member state, you can participate as well. And because we are also including the EU space program and EU's Digital Euro program, there is a list of additional countries like Albania, Iceland, Liechtenstein, Norway, United Kingdom, Montenegro, North Macedonia, Norway, Serbia, and Turkey. So please we also check the terms and conditions on that aspect. So before we look into the details on how Code for Earth works, we would like to briefly mention our challenge partners because we are growing. And this year we managed to have a couple of challenges jointly developed with partner organizations. And I want to mention, well, our partner organizations here is CSOC, respectively the University of Bonn. We have a joint challenge with the European Environment Agency, as well as with Helmholtz-Zentrum Herion. And we also managed to have a joint challenge with the University of Reading. And I want to thank here our partner organizations for joining this year's edition and the 24 journey. So how does Code for Earth work? So we have 4 steps from the call for participation, where we're currently in, to the final Code for Earth Day. As mentioned, we are in the call for participation, and that ends on 9th April. After a selection period, where we evaluate all the proposals we received, we will announce the selected proposals end of April. And then the selected teams, they will work with the mentors on the project in the coding phase. That is from May to end of August. And during this period, there will also be some midterm webinars where we provide, findings so far. And then in September, we will have the final Code for Earth Day that will take place in Reading. And I would like to hand over now to my colleague Esperanza, because she is very good in giving some recommendation and tips how to submit a good proposal.
Thank you, Atina. Hello, everyone. This year, Code for Earth 2024 has released 19 technical challenges classified, and we classify this in 3 streams. The first stream is data visualization for earth science applications. The second stream is machine learning for earth science applications. And the third stream is software development. These technical 19 challenges, they are all published on GitHub, this open source platform. So we invite you to go to GitHub and to read carefully the description challenge that figures an issue in GitHub, and browse the skills you need to tackle this challenge, and ultimately to choose the challenge best suits you according your skills, your background, or your preference. One of the advantages that GitHub offers is that you can start a conversation with the mentors. The mentors are the brain who come up with the original idea at the beginning. So these are the best contacts to ask questions. There are some aspects in the description of the challenge that are not 100% clear to you, go to GitHub and ask the mentors the question you have. Please be aware that the mentors are not going to review your proposal before submission. They are going to guide you. They can provide extra information, for example, sharing links or providing some sample data, for example, but they are not going to evaluate the submission beforehand. So I encourage you to use the feedback, to make use the feedback of your mentors for you to tailor your proposal. And don't forget that the deadline is 9th of April 2024. Next slide, please. We would like to give you some tips and recommendations, because the aim is for you to write a winner and a successful proposal. So what is your submission? The submission is a solution, a technical solution you propose to resolve a challenge. So be aware that this technical solution must be feasible in 4 months. Why in 4 months' time? Because it's what the coding phase lasts, from May to the end of August. So if you are going to propose a solution, a technical solution, which require 1 year of developing, it's not going to work. So please be sensible, stick to the requirements of the description you have read, and don't add unnecessary complexity. So be clear, be straight to the point, and write a very well structured. Next slide, please. Yeah, one of the things which is very important to take into account is that you need to deliver an outcome at the end of the coding phase. So you need to present a development. This is compulsory. So one of the things is very important to include in your proposal is a timeline. A timeline where you can schedule your milestones, you can define the deliverables, and at the end is going to help you organize your work during the coding phase. So what's bullet points you need to include in your example of proposal? A brief description of the problem, your solution, and your solution please include the tools, the software tools, the services, the data you want to use. And as I repeat myself, I highlight again, please include a timeline with milestones and deliverables. Something else you can include is a plan to share your project outcomes. It's optional, but it will be very well evaluated at the end. Okay, next slide, please. As I said, the deadline was the 9th of April. What happened next? During 2 weeks, approximately 2 weeks, an internal committee are going to evaluate all the proposals they have received. So for this evaluation, they are going to follow some criteria. These criteria can be found in FAQ on our website. There is a section dedicated to these categories that we encourage you to have a look before writing your submission. Which are these criteria? Comprehensibility. Is understandable enough, your proposal? Clarity and structure. I insist, it has to be very well structured, very concise, very precise, very understandable. Feasibility. Your proposal is doable in 4 months' time? Easy to maintain. Do you have come up with a plan of how your code can be maintained after the final day? Innovation. This is quite important because Code for Earth is an innovative program. So this category of innovation can be very, very well rated. And the last criteria is transferability. It means if you plan, if you have in mind how to transfer your code into the ECMWF ecosystem. Yes, it is something to have in mind before writing your proposal. You have to check. Yes. And after the evaluation, when we have the selected teams, they will be announced on 29th of April. So please follow us on our website and our social media platforms to get all the updates. But we email privately to the selected teams and to all participants, those who are selected and those who are not selected this year. And after the announcement, and when the selected teams they have formed, Code for Earth program goes to the step 3. The step 3 is the coding phase, as Athena mentioned. 4 months of intense coding from May to the end of August. This is the more exciting period of the program. Is when mentors and participants team up, when the experience and the new, fresh, innovative ideas collaborate together, and this initial challenge is starting step by step to shape into a project, into a software development. We have scheduled 2 midterm webinars during the coding phase, and the aim of these webinars is to present the first results. What is going on with these teams? It's a little big, but the final final Code for Earth Day, which happened in September this year, will be the great day, the finale, because we invite all the teams to present their projects. And it will be released, and it will be, we plan to happen as an event, a hybrid event in Reading, in the ECMWF headquarters, UK, the 18th of September. But I would like to highlight something. Before going to the final Code for Earth Day, your mentors need to accept your deliverables. When you have the green light, you will go to the final Code for Earth Day. It is a fun day, a fun event. So, but we will provide more details closer to time. We're in the first steps. So now I hand over Athena. We'll continue with the presentation. Thank you. You are mute, Tina.
Yeah, thank you, Esperanza. yeah, I hope you listen carefully because these are important aspects, Esperanza mentioned, and you know, probably straightforward, but why would you submit a proposal? And there are different reasons. We just selected a few ones that's from our perspective the most important. Join the Code for Earth community and be part of an interesting group of people. The other aspects are that you can learn from the mentors. They will guide you where necessary, and you get an insight. You know, you work with experts from ECMWF and partner organizations. You can work on open source software projects. And last aspect is also, we have mentioned that before, that you can get awarded a 5,000 stipend after being selected and after you successfully finish your project. So I think these are four very good reasons to think about submitting a proposal. And now I would like to hand the stage over to participants. You know, here is Elisa Aliverti Puri and Luigi Brancati. They were participants in the last year edition with the project Atmospheric Composition Datasets Explorer. And one of the mentors from this project, Mark Parrington, is also here. And they will explain or talk a little bit about their Code for Earth experience from last year. So the floor is yours.
Thank you, Athena. So I will share the screen. This one. Yes. Yes. So first of all, we will introduce ourselves. I'm Elisa, and Luigi is also here. While we were a team of 3, but Julia could not join us today. And so I studied physics and specialized in earth physics. So it's been actually, I think, 3 years before last year since I came to know Code for Earth and wanted to participate. But every year I looked at the challenges and said, oh, okay, it's too difficult for me alone. And finally, last year, I decided to team up with Luigi, who at that time was a colleague of mine at work, and Julia. So yeah, as I said, Luigi and I were working together as data engineers. And yeah, Luigi, you can also introduce yourself.
Thank you, Elisa. So as Elisa mentioned, I didn't know about the Code for Earth experience before last year. She introduced it to me and Julia, so we teamed up. And I met Elisa as a colleague and my previous work experience. So I'm a theoretical physicist by let's say my background is in theoretical physics, but then I moved to as a software engineer, software developer, data engineer, whatever you may call it, in my day job. And I'm interested in everything regarding data, Python, mostly Python environment ecosystem. And yeah, that's it about me. And Julia couldn't be here today. She's a friend of me, a friend of ours. She's a PhD student in environmental engineering. She has a background in ecology and natural science. And she was interested in the project also because she did a master thesis about this kind, of satellite imagery and visualizing and studying this kind of environmental imagery.
Yes, so our project, as Athena said, was called the Atmospheric Composition Dataset Explorer, and the goal was to develop an application, an interactive application to create atmospheric composition plots on demand. This project itself was based on a project from the previous year, from the previous edition of Code for Earth, that was called Wildfire Emission Explorer. And we wanted to extend this project. Well, we wanted because the challenge and the people who requested the challenge wanted to extend this kind of application with different CAMS datasets. And the goal of this project was also to reach different users, so that different users could create these plots on this application, like ECMWF scientists, but also any kind of user that want to explore this kind of data. And so very briefly, just to present our project, we produced 3 outcomes with this challenge. So the most important one, well, from some side, is the Python APIs, upon which both the interactive application was based, as well as a command line tool, so that you could both create these plots with our front-end web app that we made with Streamlit, or on command line, which could be more convenient to generate so automate the generation of many different plots. And here are 2 examples of the plots. We also had a nice demo of the web app, but we are not presenting it today, as it's mostly about how to join the challenge this year. But if you're interested, you can find the previous editions videos on Code for Earth YouTube challenge, or look on GitHub for last year challenges, and you can find also a demo. And this was it for our project. Now we will talk a bit more about the experience of Code for Earth and some tips and how it went for us.
Yeah, thanks, Elisa. So as Elisa mentioned, you can look on GitHub or YouTube about our project if you are interested. Moving on to the Code for Earth experience, we wanted to give you an overview and some tips which we found useful during our experience last year. So as Athina and Esperanza mentioned, the first thing to do when you look at the challenges is choosing a challenge that fits your skills and your interests, of course, and drafting a proposal, so submitting a proposal. And here I'm gonna borrow from Esperanza the same suggestion Esperanza advanced. And I mean, one thing, of course, when drafting a proposal, one important thing is to draft something, write a project proposal which is reasonable in 4 months, of course. And I think that's one thing that helps a lot is drafting a timeline. So having clear deliverables in mind and having dates where these deliverables could be, let's say, deployed. So having a timeline of how the project is gonna advance during the 4 months, and having clear dates where you say, I can provide this kind of deliverable within this date. And this is very important for the proposal phase. So drafting a reasonable proposal, but it's also very important because during the 4 months, I mean, it's a long period of time. So having this kind of timeline to calibrate your expectation is very important in our opinion. And yeah, maybe Elisa, you want to talk about the coding phase maybe a bit?
Yes. So during the coding phase, which, as we said, it's 4 months, it can be a very intense time because it's quite a long time. And of course, in 4 months, a lot of things can happen. For us, I think all of us moved around last summer, so you have also your personal things to do, of course. So it's very important to schedule some time for it, and especially to catch up frequently with other team members and mentors. As Luigi said, to calibrate the expectations as time goes on, and to decide how to split up the work. And for this, we found it very useful to let each of us do something based on our different skill sets. As for example, at the beginning, we had to understand how the data sets worked, what kind of data we had. And as for Luigi and me, we had a bit more of a software development background in our daily jobs, while Julia was working with that data. So it was very useful also to have different skills, and to also to learn something new for each of us. And thanks to Julia at the beginning, it was very much faster to understand the data sets compared to if we just had a software development background.
Yeah. And another thing, I mean, as you are working on the project, I will repeat myself maybe, but treat it as something you would develop for a client, let's say. So having clear deliverables in mind can help you understand as you are going on and developing the project what you are going to be able to deliver. As Elisa mentioned, some of us have universities, some of us have daily jobs, and life happens. So you are not gonna fill every single promise of your project proposal. Hopefully you will, but it can happen. Anything can happen. So as you go on, use your initial proposal to adjust your expectation on what could be a minimum viable product you can deliver at the end of the coding phase. So a minimum product you can consider a finished product which satisfies the project proposal, and if there is any time left, you can improve on that, of course. But having an MVP, a minimum MVP, can be very, very useful to adjust your expectation and also to focus your time and during the coding phase. And last but not least, about the code for art experience, so why you should apply to this experience. And apart from the fact that, of course, if you are considering it, you probably love computer science, earth science, you probably love coding. So in itself, it's already interesting because this is a coding challenge pretty much. And it's with a broader scope, so it's a full project actually, not just a coding challenge. And so this is just interesting by itself, but we found the whole experience very, very interesting because apart from the team, you can end up working with people you don't know. We had some team merger last year, for example, and it's very interesting working with people with different background, and also talking to the mentors. The mentors usually are scientists from the ECMWF or other companies, for example, other institutions. So it's usually very interesting talking to them. And also, last but not least, I mean, we enjoyed a lot the final days where we all met up and you could talk with people developing other challenges face to face. We also had the opportunity to visit the data center in Bologna, which was an awesome experience. We were walked around the data center. It was very fun. And it was a few fun days, to be honest. So, it's always good for networking, meeting new people from different backgrounds. And overall, it's a very fun experience, learning and also a fun experience. So this is pretty much what we wanted to say, and thank you very much for your time. So if you have any question, you have the Q&A section. You can ask us any question.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Elisa and Luigi. Mark, I'm looking at you. Do you want to say or add anything as mentor of the team? Some recommendations to interested people?
Yeah, so I think, thanks, Luigi and Elisa. That was a very comprehensive summary of not just the project, but the whole experience. And there's not much more I can add. I think just to echo what they said, have realistic expectations. At the start of the project, there'll be some kickoff meeting with mentors to really lay out what the deliverables and milestones will be, to break down the 4 months to have realistic expectations throughout. And I think it's an opportunity. I was also a mentor for the Wildfire Emissions Explorer, which Elisa mentioned in the presentation, and the idea behind that and this Atmospheric Composition Explorer was to develop a tool that we could use in the CAMS team at ECMWF for the routine monitoring, evaluation of atmospheric composition for pollution events which are happening sort of now, so whether that's dust storms or fire emissions or just general air quality issues. It's something we always wanted in-house, but we never have the time or the resources to develop. So it's a great opportunity for people outside to bring their own ideas, to be a bit creative and introduce maybe packages that we wouldn't have thought of or considered at ECMWF. And in addition, being part of CAMS, in addition to what we do internally, it's also tools that we could then put on the website and have available for users to ease the access for accessing the data and making plots, rather than having to, particularly for people who don't have strong coding experience, to be able to explore the data sets as well. I mean, we have CAMS is a relatively small part of what we have in terms of ECMWF and the C3S data sets. We have basically a 20-year data set, which is much shorter than some of those other data sets, but it's still a lot of parameters and a lot of interesting things and a lot of different perspectives. And having these kind of tools are really valuable to being able for us to explore it ourselves, but also to then show users how to explore it. And that's the bottom line, is having users and having them being able to use the data in the first place.
Great. Yeah, thanks again for Luigi, Elisa, and also Mark. And it's nice, it's nice. I think it's nice for the audience to hear from participants, because we can say so much, but you have the real experience. So let's, Ruben, I think we could go now to the Q&As.
Yes, we actually received quite a few questions. Please also don't use the general chat for the question, because it's harder for her to keep track of them. Please use the dedicated Q&A chat, so we have a full list of them and we can see when we have answered to them.
Can you see the Q&As now? Okay. So,
you want me to read the first one?
Yeah.
Okay, so the first question is, my team is mixed EU member state citizen and non-EU citizens. Could we submit proposal?
Yeah, so that is again, so either you are a citizen or a resident of an EU member state or an ECMWF member state or cooperating state. We put the links to the list of countries in the chat, but you can also find this on the Code for Earth website in the terms and conditions under Article 3. Sorry, put it a little bit on the side. You have links to the member states, the cooperating states, and it's important so that you can be either a citizen or a resident. So Vitola, depending what your team consists of, and if you're not sure, please feel free to send us an email.
Yes, also I would like to add that just to give an example, just to be clear, so either one or the other. So if you're, for example, German and you live in Thailand, you are eligible. And if you are Japanese and you live in France, you're also eligible. So it's one or the other. So next question. I'd like to make sure, if I'm not from ECMWF member states or coast operating states, I can't participate in any challenging Code for Earth. Even just one of the team member, not the person who submit the proposal. So they just want to know if someone in the team fulfill the criteria and the others not. So the answer is the same.
Yes, answer is the same, exactly. And if you are not sure, please feel free to get back to us or reach out to us again.
So next question. If I'm only available from June to August, can I still submit a proposal?
Oh, yeah, well, so the 4 month is not a lot of time, depending on the challenge. So I've looked a little bit at also Luigi and Elisa. I'm not sure if 3 months would be okay. The other thing is what we, or I like to recommend, Abel, if you have, maybe if you're a team of people, you can also share the workload. Yeah, but it's, it will be quite challenging. So the entire program is set for a 4-month coding phase. Yeah, Luigi is nodding.
Athena, I think I can add something. We had actually a similar experience because when we applied, like we started like mid-March, May. And but I remember last year we had a few personal trouble, each of us. So for the first 3 weeks, we couldn't really do any progress. And I think, I agree with you. One important thing is if someone is missing from the team for a certain period of time, the important thing is to understand whether somebody else can keep up their progress, their part of the project. But I agree with you that the time is not, there is not much time. I mean, depending on the project, the 4 months are just enough. So since we had a bit of trouble because we just had 3 months and we had to adjust our output based on that, of course. So it's not something I would suggest.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe one can choose an easier challenge if he knows he'll have less time.
Or, what another option is, because there's conversation taking place on GitHub, you can ask also on GitHub the mentors, because I'm not mentoring the challenges, so maybe the mentors can give you a more detailed answer on that. But what always helps is if you're a team of people, because then you can balance out.
Exactly. This is the great recommendation, yes, to be a team, not only one person, especially if you do your time, but is quite challenging for you.
Okay, next question. It's an interesting one. Who owns the intellectual property of the project idea code once Code for Earth is finished?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah. This is included in the Article 5 of the terms and conditions. You, as participants, you own the deliverables that has been created by you, but you need to grant to ECMWF a free, non-exclusive, irrevocable, sublicensable license for your deliverables. So you own your deliverables, but you granted a license to ECMWF or to European Union, if it is the case. So go to Article 5, Intellectual Properties Rights section in the terms and conditions of our website.
Okay, so
Do
next
you want
question.
to add something, Adina?
No. It was perfect.
Okay, next question. Can I only participate as private person, student, or professional, or can I participate on behalf of my own private company?
You can also participate on behalf of your company.
Okay, next one. I'm from Taiwan, so I can participate in any challenge, same as before. So if you are resident, if you're from Taiwan, but you're resident in one of the country listed in the eligibility criteria, yes, you can, otherwise you cannot. Next question. What was the typical time commitment per person, hours, week during the coding phase?
Luigi, Lisa?
Yeah, maybe Lisa, you.
So maybe I can start. So we did a survey after the coding phase, and we asked, and the participants stated between 12 and 15 hours per week. I think that was the answer. But that's an average. There might be times it's a little bit more intensive, and then what is your experience, Elisa, Luigi?
Yeah,
And,
I definitely. Oh, sorry. Are you speaking?
No, go on, please.
I can tell my answer and then you can say yours. Maybe they're different. Because
No, I mean,
you were faster with coding for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it really depends. Yeah, I think it really depends on your experience. I mean, I had a little bit, but just a bit more experienced than Elisa, so I was a bit faster working on some parts of the project. But to be honest, I think that most of my free time, especially during the last part of the project, most of my free time was dedicated to the project. So I would say somewhere between 10-20 hours a week. But it really depends on your experience, your personal experience, your, let's say, software engineering skills, and the project itself, of course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and how many people there are in your team, how
Yeah.
you split up your job. But of course, we had holidays, so don't worry about that. And also, we had different time periods with, as we said, personal things happening. So it can also be flexible.
Yeah, I think actually about the holidays, I think it's an important thing we didn't mention. Like, take a break sometime.
Yes.
Working full-time jobs and working on a side project is fun in the first part of the of the whole experience. Then you can don't burn out, let's say. So take a break somewhere in between, and we found it very beneficial because we had some problems, and then after a few days break, we came back refreshed, so we could work better on the problems we had. And yeah, so try to balance your free time with working on the project, because it's easy to burn out. Also, I think I half answered a question by mistake.
Which one?
They should have like a text answer by me.
Yeah, how often do the mentors and mentees meet? I see on the answer.
No, that's one. I can find it. So if any of you have a half-assed answer by me, so feel free to resubmit the question. No, that one about the how often I answered correctly.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to the next one. Next question is this meant for predefined teams, or would you suggest teams groups depending on people interest on a specific project?
So, okay, I think it's for if you have a team, you know you are already a team, and you apply as a team or you submit as a team to a proposal. That's probably already a good idea, because you can coordinate answers. We had in the past also like single people or two teams, and we asked them to merge, but it's always better if you coordinate your answer up front. Esperanza, what you do?
Yes, I don't know. It depends on you, basically.
Yeah.
Yes, if you have a team with complementary skills, as Luigi and Elisa mentioned, it's work. But if you are as an individual and you are able to do the whole thing, it's fine too. So it must depend. I have to say that now on GitHub, one of the challenges, yes, one group is forming, naturally. When the person asks, someone is interested in the challenge, and they are, forming a group, a team. So it is an option too, because you share some interest together. So it's not it's a free open answer, I would say.
Okay, so from Amin, we have been asked, are we allowed to publish our application by our own company after it is accepted?
I don't understand well this question.
Well, I think they asking, like if they want to publish the results.
That refers again to the intellectual
property.
rights. Yeah.
Yeah.
As you own them, you can publish that, but you grant also these free exclusive rights also to ECMWF and EU.
Yes, the uses. Yeah.
Okay, then Matteo, we have two questions from Matteo. The second one was how much time will we need to put in the project weekly? We already answered to that. And the first question was, what is the maximum number of participants in a team?
It's you decide. So we
decide.
have, if you check on the website, on the archive, sorry, I go a little bit outside. We had single teams or single persons. We had teams with 4 people. This was a single person team. We had also teams with like 8 participants. So it's really it's up to you. And that relates also maybe to the question, you know, the award, or if you finish your project successfully, you will receive a 5,000 euro award that goes per team. So
Yes, yeah. And also you have a team with many people, members, you need to coordinate tasks as well.
Yeah.
So it's quite important to define what is doing who. I guess, I don't know, really, Elisa, you are the experts here. No, you distribute your task. You were 3 of your team, or
yeah, we at the beginning we tried to really distribute tasks, but then since we were just 3, it was easier to have calls, and sometimes we just had calls with 2 of us because it's already pretty hard to have calls with 3 people. I cannot imagine with that many people, but I think if you're really good with coordinating via chat or like not doing calls, you can also work like on GitHub with open source software. It all works asynchronously with people writing on GitHub. So I think it's perfectly possible to have a big team. It's just a bit different.
I mean, if you want to have a big team, I think that's it's pretty much mandatory to have someone focusing only on coordinating the team, because if you have more than, let's say, 5 people, someone will have to focus on coordinating these people. It's pretty much unavoidable. And also I remember last year there was a huge team, like 8 people, and they were split into sub teams working on different aspects of the same project. They had like 2 proposals, so maybe this is an option. I think, I don't know. Maybe it was something from last year. It was an exception.
no, it's sorry to that was this big team. We had 2 different teams on one challenge, but the mentors they had selected, they wanted to mentor 2.
Okay.
So this team was entered the call for participation, or answered the call for participation as a team, and they entered as a team as well. So that was not split, but
and you know, be aware that this call for it is collaboration and teamwork. So you need to know how to work in a team, because otherwise it doesn't work.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is something to add.
Yeah, I think that's mandatory. I mean, me, Elisa, and Julia had some experience in our day jobs, so how to work with other people. So if you have never done that, having someone who is, let's say, good at working with in a team is mandatory. Like, there was a similar question to this by someone else, asked about like, can I participate if I'm not experienced? And I would suggest having someone experienced both in coding and in working in a larger team.
yes. Okay, we have a few more questions left. I would say we stop now the question because, or you know, Ruben, maybe we go for the next ones.
Yes, let's go maybe quickly. So there was another one asking groups, or if you be in group or alone to for the proposal. You can be an individual as a proposer, but we suggest to be in a team. Then where are the coding and the computations done? Do we get access to the ECMWF compute system?
What is
So if you need, you know, we work together with the European Weather Cloud and VKO. So if you need computational sources, they are provided by us.
Yes.
Then Mark is asking, is there's any?
Sorry, Ruben, I wanted to add a thing about what also the ECMWF provides some virtual machines for, if you can't use your personal. Like last year, we had Mia providing a few machines for coding, not just when the project is done.
Okay, so then thank you, Luigi. Marco is asking, is there any age limit in participating? This also should be in the term and condition. You
Minimum
must
of 18 years old. Yeah, we don't have an age limit on the upper side.
Then in terms of Article 5, does the source code is considered as a deliverable?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
Then can I develop the project I participated as research paper, affiliation under my organization?
So what we have, the results of the project that you also publish that as a research paper, that's possible. But again, a research paper is not kind of a result of the project, but that could be also a question for the mentors on GitHub. But of course, I think in the last edition there was one project and they published a research paper based on the challenge or on the project.
Yes. 3 years ago, yeah.
Okay, we're almost done. So next one is, can a team from an Asian country participate? Only if the team members are from one of the country listed in the eligibility list, or if the team members are resident in those countries. And then finally, Ernesto is asking, is this presentation, the presentation held in March, so the last one, going to be available online for people that can participate or had problem to join us? Yes, both webinars will be on our YouTube channel.
So that's our YouTube channel. And we will publish the presentations here. Good. Okay, that was a fantastic session. We run over, but that I think having so many questions, that's great. We hope that we could answer most of them. As mentioned before, please do not hesitate getting back to us if you have any questions. Also, use GitHub, the challenges you're interested in, and ask questions there. I think meanwhile you have seen that there is conversation taking place, and yeah, we are really curious and interested to see your submissions. Yeah, just to give you for some challenges there is conversation taking place, and you can ask all the questions on GitHub as well, and either the mentors or we as the coordinating team, we will answer your questions as well, or you can directly contact us through email.
And don't forget, the deadline is 9 of April.
Yeah. So thanks to everyone, Luigi and Elisa, Sara, Esperanza.
Thank you.
A special thank you to Luigi, Elisa, and Mark to be with us.
And
thanks
thank you
us.
for all the participants with your questions. Okay.
Yeah, good luck, everyone.
Good luck, everyone.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.